That is my alarm to wake up from the nap I never took. Hello, 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 and happy December. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe we are in the last month of the year. Like, that's absolutely crazy. I say it every single year, like, wow, time really does fly. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. We are striving to become healthy and whole God's way every day. It's December, it's the end of the year, and what does everyone love to do at the end of the year and at the very beginning of the year? Reflect and reset. And I am all for that, but I want to do something just a little bit different today. And instead of talking about my goals for next year or my word for next year, I'm simply going to share with you guys 4 things I hope to never carry into 2023. And I would definitely encourage you guys to do that too. Like, do a little self-assessment, reflect, and think about like a couple habits that you are just like, if I could not do these things again, that would make 2023 a lot better. So here are just a couple habits of mine that I hope to be done with once 2022 is over. Habit number 1. So I have a terrible habit of doing things all the way up into 97% and leaving that 3% hanging and just being like, okay, it's done. It is not done. And I think I've spent many years convincing myself that 97% is good and that's great, and like to be proud of myself for getting that far. And in some cases, that's great. It's fantastic. I'm not discounting the 97%. But if I have the ability to do things or complete things at 100%, I need to start doing that, because I think a lot of times when I don't see things get to 100%, I don't actually reap everything out of that particular activity or that particular project or that particular thing that I'm supposed to if I would have just completed it to 100%. Like, I don't know why I do it, but it's a terrible habit of mine. One thing that I'm going to start doing to make sure that I complete things to 100% is first having some accountability. When I start something, just letting somebody know, like, hey, this is what I intend to do, and this is how this is the time frame that I have for it, and just like having that person be like, hey, did you finish it yet? Did you finish it yet? Did you finish it yet? I know for me, that type of accountability will motivate me to actually respond back and say, yeah, it's done. Habit number 2. Solely depending on my phone to wake me up. I absolutely love waking up to whatever song I want or whatever annoying noise I decide to set. But I know myself, and I have learned, I've learned that if I pick up my phone, even to turn my alarm off, I'm like, what's the weather like? Let me check my messages. Let me check this. Let me check that. Ooh, groceries, blah, blah, blah. And like my mind starts going in a million different directions. And it's like, I thought I had more self-control than that. So in order to combat that, what I'm gonna start doing is using my Fitbit as my alarm, and then also just setting my Alexa to turn on my lights, because nobody likes to wake up with flashing lights on in their face. So we're gonna try those 2 methods and see if that actually helps me wake up in a less distracted mode. And then if I do happen to wake up and have a million and one things on my mind, I'm gonna have a little notepad next to my bed, and I'm going to brain dump. I'm gonna write everything down on that notepad, no matter how random it is, and get to it later. Habit number 3, not doing my laundry on a consistent basis. Guys, I kid you not, if I could never do laundry a day again in my life, I would not. I'm just gonna speak this into existence. One day that's gonna happen. One day I'm gonna have a personal chef. I'm gonna have someone to clean my house, and I'm also gonna have someone to do my laundry for me. Like, I know some people love it. They like folding and they like color coding and like all the things. I am not that person. I just need clean clothes to be there, and I don't care how it happens, right? In my opinion, this is probably the most laughable one. When I was coming up with these habits, I was like, what are the things that I do that are just like, that are just not good for me? And I was thinking of like really deep stuff, like, oh, how can I improve my relationships? But then I also thought about this one, and I'm like, we're gonna throw this one in here. I am going to create a laundry schedule, which somebody would be like, that is absolutely crazy and that is probably not gonna work. But you know what? We won't know until we try. And I am going to try and do laundry once every 2 weeks and wash at least 3 loads of laundry. That way I always have clean clothes and I don't have to set aside an entire day where I'm washing 6 loads of laundry. We're gonna keep it simple and we're gonna see how it goes. With this last habit, I do believe society really values this particular habit, and in our workplaces, it's somewhat idolized, but I've actually realized how it can actually be a little bit toxic and unhealthy in your personal life. Multitasking. Now, multitasking itself is not a terrible thing. There is a time and a place for it, but multitasking all the time is not healthy, because there is no way that if you are doing 3 or 4 things at a time, that all 3 or 4 of those things are getting your undivided attention, which means those 3 or 4 things that you're doing aren't feeding you the way that they could be if you were just focused on one thing at a time. What I really want to focus on is making sure that the things that I feel like I can cram all in at one time, that I actually extract one thing and do that separately, right? So instead of driving and eating and listening to a podcast, I'm going to make sure that when I go home and I prepare my dinner, that I just sit at the table and just mindfully eat. Or I'm going to make sure that after I eat, when it's time to go to bed, that I just sit in my bed and read my book. I truly believe I will get a lot more out of the activities that I'm engaging in simply by being fully present and giving that one particular thing my full time and attention. Well guys, thanks again for tuning into this video of 4 habits that I hope to not carry into 2023, and the 4 ways I intend to make sure that happens. If you guys have any habits that you don't want to carry to 2022, join the club, drop that down in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys will be working on and how you intend to get there. Tune in next week for part 2 of this video. But until then, subscribe, like this video if you like this video, share this with anyone and everyone, and honestly, just like start a discussion with your friends. Like, what are some things that you want to get rid of in this year, and what are some things that you want to carry over into next year? Until then, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and have a fantastic day. Bye.